G'day, my name is John Eggleston. I'm a volunteer here at the Woolshed, and for many, many years I've been a volunteer. There have been two loves in my life. One was history, the other is nature. And everything I've done in my life has been around those two interests. I became involved with the Woolshed through my love of history back in 1973. At that time, the Woolshed had been given to the people of the district. The people of the district took on that project without knowing really what they were about. Nobody had had any experience in it. They were all volunteers. Nobody had any money. It was a hard slog. For all my working life practically, I've been working here at the Woolshed and involved in other things as well. My main trade has been a horticulturist and landscape designer. And in that process, I have done all sorts of things involving nature. When I was involved with the Woolshed, it was through my history that I became involved. But as I became more with time on my hands, after I retired, I came back to the Woolshed when the Woolshed really needed me. And I came involved completely with the Woolshed. I'm here 7 days a week, every day, from about 5 in the morning till about 5 in the afternoon. It is my love. But I brought with me not only my history side of things, but also my love of nature. And through my experience as a horticulturist and landscape designer, I was able to then bring something here to the Woolshed that I thought would greatly help and uplift the face of the Woolshed. And this project you can see behind me is the beginning of that. This is a water feature which I had a great desire to build. It was something that could not be built if you had to pay for it. It would cost a lot of money in time and materials. But because most of it is being given, and I give all my time free, and those that are helping me are mostly giving their time free. And that is enabling us to build this. When the Toowoomba Regional Council was formed with the amalgamation of councils here in Queensland, the Woolshed was already owned by the Jondaryan Shire Council, and they were amalgamated with Toowoomba. The Toowoomba Regional Council was tossing up whether they would keep the Woolshed or close it down. Fortunately, they chose to keep it. They put in a new management team and put money behind it. That enabled the whole operation of the Woolshed to change. It had to change because the way it was going broke very quickly. It needed to have income earning facilities that would enable it to keep going into the future and eventually maybe stand on its own 2 feet. Nowhere in the world is an organisation like the Woolshed run in a profitable situation where it stands entirely on its own 2 feet. Not even in America does that happen. But we are putting in facilities here at the Woolshed that hopefully in the future will enable that to happen. The project I'm mostly involved with here is the landscaping of the whole complex. The water feature here is stage 1. The next stage is landscaping all around the dam facilities we have here. This is combined with our money earning facilities. Our main income comes from functions, particularly weddings. We have a huge number of weddings throughout the year, and The weddings have become extremely popular here. We're putting in more facilities that will cater for that, particularly up around the dam facilities here. And that will enable us to be able to run two major functions at the same time. The landscaping of the whole project, all around the dam, all around our accommodation facilities, everything is going to be landscaped. It's going to take many years to do it, but hopefully I'll live long enough to see it all done. The water feature is probably the main part of the whole thing, and it ties it all in together. The new cafe restaurant we have here enables us to, with the use of the state-of-the-art kitchen facilities we have here, to operate all sorts of functions and high-class functions. The water feature ties everything in. It flows down the hill and eventually goes down to the bottom of the big dam we have here. And that is the next project. We are landscaping all down across to a little church, a little historic church we have moved in here, where weddings can take place. And then another big reception centre will be set up on top of the bank of the dam, overlooking the dam and overlooking Oakey Creek. We have an absolute wonderful scenic views in every direction you look here, and we want to take advantage of all of that. And that is what all this landscaping is doing, tying it all in together so that the whole complex can work as one. I have had, as you would expect, a number of people helping me here. There's no way in the world I could do all this myself. We were very fortunate in that all the rock work, all the rocks that we needed to do all this landscaping is being given to us. We don't have to buy a single rock. We have an unlimited supply of these rocks. All we have to do is go and collect them and bring them here. Some of them as big as small houses. We can't bring that size, but we can bring whatever we can lift into the truck. And those are around about a ton in weight. That has to be done with machines, but everything has to be set in place. Every rock has to be set in place. You have to design rock work to make it look natural, and it needs manpower to do that. Every single rock has to be placed. I have had helping me here on occasions about 5 or 6 people, but mostly it's 2 or 3 people who help me. The plants I have been supplying, I've been growing on myself. I've been given a lot of them, and many I've grown myself, but I grow them all onto a stage where they're ready to plant out, irrespective of whether given. Occasionally I might buy some particular species of plant that I don't have. They are all Australian native plants, and what I'm trying to create here is a small Australian botanic gardens. We're very fortunate. This water you see in the waterfall here comes from Oakey Creek. Oakey Creek is a perpetual flowing creek. It rises in Toowoomba from springs along the range, and it runs all the time, and that's a wonderful water supply. But this creek you see behind me with the waterfall is a recirculating creek. We're not taking water from the creek all the time. We just top it up every now and again. Once the system was filled, all we have to do is top it up. It takes about 2 or 3 minutes each morning just to top it up, and then it just runs all day like this. A completely recirculating system. It is run by a sump pump. It's a 2.5 inch 3-phase sump pump, and it pumps 30,000 litres an hour, which gives us a good flow through the system. I am a horticulturist, and a landscape designer. Water is a love of mine, and water makes any landscape. Everything I do, if I possibly can, is based around water features. I try to build water features into it wherever I possibly can. The landscape itself was what drew me to designing and building this water feature. It was perfectly designed to be able to do it. I could see it in my mind before I dug up a piece of earth or shifted a stone. I could see this whole system running. Any system I design, I can see it in my mind before I design it. I have that gift. But the landscape here, because we're on the edge of a hill which drains down into the creek system, it gave me a perfect opportunity to be able to design a water feature that would give me two waterfalls. This one you see behind me, and another one further down the creek. You'll notice the water drops down quite rapidly here in a complete sudden fall into the gorge. There's actually about 1.5 meters of water in the gorge itself. I propose to have water lilies growing in that. But it makes quite a spectacular fall, coming down from the top waterfall through the little creek and over this fall, and then it runs on down the hill to the bottom at the base of the dam, where I have another pond which is a collection pond, and the water is pumped from there back up and goes through the system again.
So how long is the water feature?
It is approximately about 500 metres long. But this dam here, we are going to landscape all around it. Trees and shrubs everywhere, walking paths, cycling paths, even a little train, miniature train, is going to have its track running around it. Over here on top of the dam face itself is going to be another big facility to enable weddings and all sorts of functions to be held in a luxurious marquee, fully air conditioned with all the best of everything. And what a wonderful view. Down over the creek on one side and over the dam on the other.
Yeah, the fellow I did before said you were only 60.
I'm only 60. I wish.
Yeah.
I wish.
How old are you, John?
80.
80.
And
Wow.
this gives you something to get up for in the morning.
Yeah.
5 o'clock in the morning he starts.
Every morning I wake up and say, Wacko, what a wonderful day, I'm still alive.
That's right, yeah. That's right. Yeah. Let's go down to the farm or the woolshed. You don't look old, John, either.
Well, you've got to keep going. If you don't keep going, 6 feet down very smartly.
Well, wonderful, John. Wonderful. 80.